Welcome back to the channel for our spooky season. I'm so excited. And if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Zoe and this is my channel, Ms. Manga, where I talk a lot about manga. And if that appeals to you, maybe you'll consider subscribing. I would be so super excited if you enjoyed this content enough to want to watch again. That's the goal here. So anyway, today, you might have guessed it, it's October. I got an adorable Hello Kitty spooky shirt on. I honestly thought I'd be wearing a sweatshirt, but it is like 80 outside. It doesn't feel like fall, but it's fine. I'm embracing the vibes. I was gonna have some tea, and instead I picked this drink up called Liquid Death. I felt like, at least I can drink a spooky fall vibes drink. It's just mango sparkling water, but it's fun. Honestly, it's pretty good. Yeah. I'm not a huge sparkling water fan, but yeah, it's nice. It's subtle, like the subtle mango, but there's that sweetness that makes it enjoyable. So I'm happy. I'm gonna sip on my Liquid Death and talk to you all about 7 ongoing manga that makes you wanna scream. So camp, I hope, and not just cringe. But anyway, I'm gonna start darker and I'm gonna start with the newest releases. So if you're just interested in hearing about those newer first volumes, then yeah, that'll be for you. And then maybe you'll like it so much you'll stick around for more. Can only hope. Anyway, we're starting it off with talking about Homunculus. Alrighty then, so we got the humongous Homunculus volumes 1 and 2, the first omnibus, and I honestly just wanted to read the first volume to be able to tell you how I felt about it, but I liked it enough that I read the first omnibus. Like, I haven't delved into the second omnibus, to be fair, but I really do want to. Like, this was really captivating to me. It's maybe not like super thrilling or, action-packed, but it's like more of a psychological slow burn feeling of a horror. Like, the horror element's creeping in, and it definitely feels like it might amp up to like 1 billion, which I would love some unhinged psychological horror to come into the picture. But yeah, it feels mostly rooted in reality, and I like those stories. If you like monster, maybe you'll like this. There is a supernatural element to it, but overall it just feels more, I want to say normal, because what is normal? But it feels more like it could happen to somebody. So anyway, let's get into the synopsis. So we have our main protagonist here, Nakoshi Susumu, and he is 34 years old, living out of his car, and between spending his days with the homeless and his nights in his vehicle, he, doesn't really have much to his name. We don't really know much like how he got to be in this predicament. He wears a suit. He seems well spoken, like he made a name for himself, perhaps. He was a career man, perhaps, but now he's living out of his car, and we don't know much about him as a person yet. And anyway, the story itself begins when a medical student begins to stalk him and offer to pay Nakoshi a significant sum of cash to undergo a strange surgical procedure. Initially he refuses. Smart. I mean, it's shady shit. Like, don't do it, kids. If someone offers to give you a buttload of money for shady medical procedures, say no. But after his beloved car is towed, he finally agrees to take the offer and subjects himself to the operating table. What, if anything, will Nakoshi see differently once he awakes? So this supernatural horror, as it's described on the back here, begins after the operation. I'm putting it down because it's heavy, okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so the supernatural element comes in after this operation. He doesn't think anything's changed really. But when he ends up closing his left eye, he starts seeing really weird things, like very out of this world, like monsters, as he calls them. And the scientist guy that he's, researching Nakoshi, and he's trying to like find out, if the surgery was a success and if anything has changed with him, he ends up referring to them as homunculus, aka how we get the title of this story. So yeah, I think it's full of like really interesting, a little bit creepy characters. I like the idea of these homunculus being kind of your subconscious ego, your subconscious trauma is kind of coming to the surface. So there's like that psychological, which I was talking about. And I like the exploration of that. Obviously, I've only read the first 2 volumes. I've heard it gets pretty unhinged. To be honest, that's why I picked it up. It starts off a bit, I don't want to say mundane, but just kind of an interesting story with a little bit of a supernatural element to it. But be warned, I have heard it goes off the rails and is like crazy as it goes, but I am buckled in and ready for that crazy when it hits. Let me know below if you've read it, if that is true, if you feel like it's like a slow start to a crazier story. I would love to know more, but no spoilers, please. And next up we have DRCL, Midnight Children. I guess I'm gonna just ignore the pound sign hashtag thing. I don't know. Comment below if there's a specific way you're supposed to read this title, because I don't know it. But yeah, this volume just came out in September and I have read it now and I'm excited to talk about it because it is a really immersive, I'd have to say. Like I felt like, I don't know, part of it might be the captivating artwork. And then this like slow burn kind of suspenseful vampire story. Like it doesn't like hit you all at once with like vampires, but there's like some creepy monster crap going on and it's infiltrating this group of students at this academy. And so you only know that shit's gonna go crazier as the series goes on. But I really have to say the art blew me away. This art is just, it's really beautiful. Like I would just be staring at like specific panels going like, wow, so pretty. I wish I could draw like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It is, and it's very immersive. Like I said, like it's atmospheric. It like brings you into the story. Someone commented on my haul video when I shared that I got this one, that they felt like it was like kind of returning to the childhood Halloween, like everything kind of feels real spooky. Like it just, yeah, it does. It transports you back to that childhood state of mind where monsters really can exist in the shadows. And yeah, I think part of that is because our protagonists here are children. And let's get into the summary. So in this beautiful, evocative, and often surreal retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula, a fearsome enemy arrives from the east, bringing with it horrors the likes of which have never been seen in the British Empire. This takes place in Britain, by the way. Standing opposed are Wilhelmina, Mina, Murray, and her stalwart companions. Stalwart? Stalwart? That word is weird to me. But her companions, united in a cabal that eclipses gender, nationality, and station until the day that they can achieve victory. So we see a lot of Mina's struggles even in this first volume. She is trying to find her place at this Whitby school as their first and only female student. And, the boys aren't very kind at all to her. So there's that element to the story when all of a sudden a horror is unleashed upon the academy and these unsuspecting group of students. And we haven't seen like many details of what the horror is, but I mean, it's a story based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. So I'm gonna give you 3 guesses as to what it is. It's Dracula. Yeah. So yeah, the horror attacks one of the group of students, and we see that something might be different about this student now that they've had this creepy supernatural encounter. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really good series. I honestly think if you like vampire stories, horror, suspense, any of those things, that you would really enjoy this and want to pick it up. It is hardcover, and so it's a little bit more pricey, but this stunning artwork is worth checking it out alone. And yeah, I think it's really promising, and I'm super excited for volume 2. I wish it would come out sooner. So those were the newest releases that I had picked up in the last couple months. And yeah, if you're interested in any of them, I highly recommend them. But moving on to an older ongoing series, but one that is also about vampires and is a super favorite of mine, Case Study of Vanitas. So I absolutely loved Pandora Hearts. I'll start that first and foremost. And if you don't know this Pandora Hearts series, all you need to know is it's by the same mangaka as Case Study of Vanitas. So this is a tale of vampires and curses set in a whimsical and dark steampunk Paris. On the streets, there is a rumor of a grimoire, or like a cursed book, that will sow curses into vampires and like kind of make them go insane. And now guided by the Book of Vanitas, the gears begin to turn and the story of two men, Noi and Vanitas, takes shape. So basically all you need to know is there's a curse going around infecting vampires, making them go crazy, losing their humanity. And there's a mysterious man named Vanitas who has this book that people think is the cause of the curses, but he says he's saving the vampires with it. So we don't really know much. It has that camaraderie between our two main protagonists, Noe, who is a vampire, and Vanitas here. And although I feel like it gives you that little bit of teasing VL throughout, which Pandora Hearts also I feel like kind of did between Gilbert and Oz. But yeah, I think they just like a little bit of light VL in their works. Whatever, the brothership, the camaraderie, the bro, what do you call it? Relationship? I don't know. Broship here between the two boys is one of my favorite aspects about this series. And of course, I love the vampire element. The arts are really nice to look at, and it's got a fun cast of characters, besides just our two main characters, all set against a very mysterious and slightly dark background. Kind of staying in that sweet spot of Case Study of Vanitas where it's a little bit soft and a little bit creepy. We have our next title, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. So I absolutely love the art first and foremost. These covers are beautiful. So are Case Study of Vanitas, but yeah, they're just so cute, and the art is so distinct in these and really stands out to me. Like if I see it, I'm like immediately like, oh, that's Toilet Bound Hanako. Like, yeah, it's recognizable. But yeah, this is another one that's got this cute art, this like whimsical, fun characters, but it's sometimes surprisingly a lot darker than you would suspect on the outside. And I really like that like little mystery, darker element to it. Anyway, so our story here begins at Kamome Academy. Rumors are abound at this school about the school's 7 mysteries, one of which is Hanako-san. So this particular mystery is said to occupy the 3rd stall of the 3rd floor girls' bathroom in the old school building. So the plus side of running into Hanako is that apparently they will grant you any wish when summoned. And this is where we meet our protagonist, Nene Yashiro, and she is an occult-loving schoolgirl who dreams of romance and ventures into this haunted bathroom. But the Hanako that she meets is nothing like she imagined. Kamome Academy's Hanako-san is a boy, which apparently a story was that Hanako is a girl, but yeah, that's the twist. There's way more twists and mysteries in this series than just that Hanako is a boy. I mean, if you didn't know that already, then sorry I spoiled that. Anyway, this is another more like little bits of fluff and romance sprinkled throughout to just kind of lighten the mood a bit. But it definitely has this dark, mysterious, supernatural background. I really wanted to pick this one because it's not about vampires. It's not about witches, which will be our next subcategory of this. It's kind of ghosts and supernatural in general. And unlike Homunculus, which is more mature and horror, this is light horror. It's dark, but it's not going to be too scary. It's it's for people that want that supernatural vibe. but can't handle super scary, then I think that this is a perfect read for you. I also just super love it, you know, and I like scary and horror manga as well. But when I'm in the mood for something a little lighter, this one is a funner dark read. So rounding out the, I guess it's a trio of series that are a little dark, but not too dark if you don't like horror, we have the witch version, Witch Hat Atelier. So this one is if you like witches. We had one for vampires, one for supernatural, one for witches. This one also has that dark undertone, that creeping dark mysteries that threaten the children, the young witches of the Atelier that Coco meets, and of course our main protagonist, Coco herself. So I loved how someone described this on Amazon. They were like, it's Harry Potter meets Kiki's Delivery Service. And it kind of is. Like, it has a little bit of a more dark tone that Harry Potter does. And it also, you know, features the kind of young girl out, you know, making it on her own vibe of Kiki's Delivery Service. And it also has that atmospheric art style that just, it feels kind of Ghibli. And you know, reminds me of the Ghibli world when I look at the art, and yeah, it's just comforting, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so it's got that chosen one motif also of Harry Potter, because the dark entities surrounding the story seem to definitely have their eyes set on Coco here, our main girl. Yeah, so I liked how that summed it up for people that are, you know, maybe Ghibli lovers, or that like Harry Potter, or like me, like both. This might be one for you. So anyway, a summary of our first volume here. In a world where everyone takes wonders like magic, spells, and dragons for granted, Coco is a girl with a simple dream. She wants to be a witch. But everybody knows magicians are born, not made. And Coco was not born with a gift for magic. Resigned to her unmagical life, Coco is about to give up on her dream to become a witch until the day she meets Quifrey. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know. Quifrey? That's how I've been saying it. Sorry again, I am terrible with names if you're new here. So if you're not, you should be used to this. And he is a mysterious traveling magician. After secretly witnessing Quifrey perform magic and she's never seen before, because a witch's duty is actually to hide how magic is cast in this world. So witnessing how the magic is cast leads Coco to a truth that both excites and delights her, that maybe she can be a witch too, but also frightens and threatens her peaceful way of life so far. So Coco ends up being taken in by Quifrey and joining the Atelier, which is a magical school. It only has a few apprentices, so it's not like a big school, but there's a couple other girls around her age that are all studying to be witches. So I'm kind of going a little bit ahead of the synopsis, but that's all what's in this first volume here. And yeah, I think it's really good. I think each subsequent volume that I've been reading, since I wanted to reread the first volume, I did read it a while ago, but I bought more volumes since then, and I wanted to reread it, and then if I was so inclined to maybe read some more, and I was, and I've read now 4 volumes out of the 6 that I have currently. There are more that are out there, by the way, but yeah, it really gets better and better each volume, because it is more character driven, so you really start connecting with the characters, and that makes the story more, heartfelt, and you care, what happens to these girls and everyone. And then of course the dark mystery element that keeps kind of popping up, creeping back, and I getting more and more serious as it goes on, this threat. So yeah, I really definitely recommend this, and I think it's a fun, slightly dark witchy read. Second to last, we have Hi, I'm a Witch, and my crush wants me to make a love potion. So you can tell, this one's just super, super, super cute and sweet. Yeah, so before this point, we had dark, and then we had semi-dark, and now we just have floof. It is floof, and I love it. So if you hate horror, you don't even want darkness in your stories, you just want witchy vibes, you just want to get that October, fall, feeling without anything creepy. This one's so cute. You can't like go wrong with it. So this story begins when a guy makes a simple request to make him a love potion. The witch, the good witch of the lake, on which he requested this love potion from, unfortunately has had a secret long crush on this man who has just asked her to make him a love potion. So she is heartbroken. Still, when he promises to gather the ingredients she needs for the potion, Rose here, which is the name of the good witch of the lake, is thrilled at the chance to spend more time with this man, Sir Harij, and learn more about him through their meetings and interactions. And she gets better at speaking and conversing with him because she is super shy and she's a bit of a loner. And he starts visiting a lot more than he even really needs to, or staying for longer than he needs to, and bringing her food because he notices how sparse her diet is, and he just like takes an interest and care in this stranger who's, obviously doing something for him. But still, it's super cute. And like, honestly, man of my dreams. You bring me food, you've won me over. Like, I will love you exponentially more if you feed me. So yeah, obviously this is just a more shoujo fluff romance story with cute magic and those witchy vibes, perfect for October. And it's a romance between a shut-in witch and a sweet knight. And honestly, what could be cuter than that? Like, yeah. Last up, Call the Name of the Night. So this was a cover buy. Obviously, it's a very pretty cover. It immediately intrigued me with, the magic element. I'm a sucker for fantasy and magic. So I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm gonna take a shot. I will say the first volume didn't blow me away, but by the second volume, I was like excited to pre-order the third. I was like, ooh, this is like that cozy fall, the cozy October vibes read, that if you want not so much the romance and the cuteness, but you want something more cozy and magical, then this would be the one for you. And the summary is that deep within the forest resides a curious pair, Mira, a girl with an affliction that calls forth the night, and Ray, a kindly doctor searching for her cure. Their days pass peacefully until an old acquaintance of Ray's appears. So it kind of sounds more foreboding than it is, but although Mira is suffering from this affliction or curse, or however, people are afraid of it and then consequently afraid of her, but she passes her days rather wholesomely and quite cutely with Ray, where, she just really admires him and, looks up to him. And so far it all seems kosher because there is a huge age difference here, but it definitely seems more doting father figure type, And we were introduced in the second volume to a younger boy that is more her age. So I'm definitely hoping there's no romance aspect. And it really doesn't feel like it's going to be that way, but she does definitely admire and look up to him. And it's just, yeah, it's simple and atmospheric and magical. So if you want an October themed read that's more slice of life and not spooky, then like I said, this one would be a good one to pick up and check out. It's definitely more slow paced, and although there is the mystery behind Mira's affliction, curse, or like the, will they be able to, cure her or figure out how to prevent her power from going like haywire and affecting other people. The day-to-day life is just more like forefront right now, and I think that like it's more just a relaxing comfort read. And yeah, it's soft and sweet and chill read for a chilly October night, perhaps. So yeah, those are my 7 ongoing series that are worth screaming about. If you couldn't tell, like that means I like them. It means I endorse them, I recommend them. I obviously, like, they're ongoing, so you never know. But as of now, they're all series I definitely want to continue and am enjoying reading the next volumes of. And yeah, so comment below if you read or are you looking forward to reading any of these series, or recommend me a good ongoing spooky or fall vibes read for the season. There was so many more that I wanted to talk about, but I'd either talked about them in a previous video, like Zom 100, for instance. If you were wondering why there were no zombies, I'd love to talk about that, but I had already in my underrated video. So if you want to hear about my thoughts on that, go check it out. Also, The Witch and the Beast I had just talked about in my beautiful covers video. Also highly recommend dark fantasy type story for this spooky season. Both are great, both I love as well. And so many more. I can't, the list goes on and on. I love me some spooky reads, some magical reads, fantasy reads, all of the above. And yeah, so thanks for, joining me, maybe having a fun little spooky beverage with me, if you did. And until next time, bye!